Oh, I don't know. I don't know how to feel about this one. Again, TODAK and Red are just the two teams that really make me question how I feel about certain compositions and the way that they should be played. Maybe I'm the one who's being narrow-minded here, but what about you guys? Great, great. Love the opinions here. Now,
I don't know why I was waiting for LaFell to start talking.
I was waiting for Safa.
Talk to me about the compositions first.
Yeah,
All right.
Great, love it, love it, love it. We both think it's all right. There's only one way that this could go. It could be Red Esports' opportunity to equalize against TODAK at this very moment, but that's on the condition that Momo hits another deadly spear.
Can I just have a small W here?
All right.
The TODAK fan came into chat and he's like, "Oh, we're behind you guys." I was like, "Hey, so guys."
That's cool. You guys can do that too if you come on over and join us right here in MVSJ Stadium. But we're jumping into the land of Dawn for game number 2 between TODAK and Red Esports.
All right, let's begin. TODAK going to be on the blue side, starting on that orange buff. Same goes for Red Esports. They're on two different sides of the map this time, and the junglers might just have to contest for different objectives.
Looking at the draft though, this is definitely a more Ube style, even if it doesn't have the enchanter support like usual from Red Esports. Having both Hylos and Phoveus to form the front line means that he can run into TODAK a lot more comfortably.
I would say the biggest advantage for Red's draft here, it's an easy draft to pilot.
Yeah.
I mean, like, really think about it. You got to highlight, like, the position makes sense. You don't have a lot of dashing here and there. You just move it a straight line, and then you just deal the damage.
I don't know. I get flashbacks of Red Esports versus Team Ray, which is roughly the same type of composition, except changing Kim Yi to just Kim on Lo Yi. But I just feel that inevitably, I hope that Red Esports are a lot more polished, even though it's an easy comp to pull off.
Picking up the Zayat, engaging onto Grace. Fracture, not gonna do too much here other than zone him out.
Yeah, right now, honestly, between both sides, looking at the scale here, Red Esports definitely looks much better. I would say this Beatrix pickup makes the win rate, in my mind, 70 to 80%. Because
70, 80%.
it depends whether Al wants to go for a Sky Piercer. Usually he does go for a Sky Piercer first item and then a Blade of Despair second item. At that point, Red Esports has a very strong team fight comp. Hard to contest.
And Lord in some trouble, taking quite a lot of damage from Kim. Grace gonna be taunted. And Lord able to walk back to his tower, but very low and not at level 4. Which means this first turtle will probably go to Sensui.
I think they're going to sacrifice it. Oh, I mean,
But they're still gonna try and contest, but Grace by himself is more than enough to force TODAK back into their jungle.
all right. Guys, I have to ask about your thoughts on the Suyo overall build. In terms of emblems, we're seeing that a majority of the MPL players like to actually go for the Impure Rage. Public ranked, they prefer to go for either Lethal Ignition or Warcry. Thoughts on that?
I feel like, honestly, Lethal Ignition sounds a little bit better in terms of the burst. But I can see Warcry. Warcry I think is a little bit more difficult because Suyo is not tanky, even with the damage reduction.
Chiku guys in trouble. Glorious Pathway comes out, a good flicker, but is it enough? Law and Order catches him out, and Sensui jumps right in to claim first blood, picking off Lunox.
Just too thick, but they did get the Revitalize out of Grace, so I guess there's a bonus in that, but still, Chiku guys dying and losing out on his flicker, huge for Red Esports.
Yeah, and Owl right now is seeking as much free gold as he can, and that's an entire minion wave. Oof, Chiku guy's not gonna have a good time farming here, and they want to gank him again.
Oh, I can imagine Chiku guys. He's just balding over that wave. Balding.
This is an envy, but that's rough.
He's not in this game, but it is rough indeed. A lot of pressure being put on the gold lane, and that makes a lot of sense for Red Esports. Owl on the Beatrix is a beast, and Chiku guys tends to be the late game win condition for TODAK. So by doing this, you are killing two birds with one stone.
They do have a bit of a setup. Oh, the hook land!
Oh, they found Kim. Flicker out though. Zai gonna chase him down and slays the Vexana.
And that's what I want to see from TODAK, right? With all of this movement and so much priority in Chiku guys' lane, they should be punishing anybody who rotates through the mid lane to begin with. They've already got the help of the Spear of Glory from Momo. They might as well abuse it.
Actually, looking at the draft, TODAK's win condition is actually the mid game, so I kind of feel like Red Esports early rotation to shut down Chiku guys is brilliant, because what Get it? Brilliant. Yes, that's okay. Anyways, what you guys wants to do is you wants to rotate early, but Owl winning the lane kind of denies that. So they want to play 5v5 at 5 minutes, but they can't do that now.
And Lord and Grace both in trouble. Spirit of Glory pulls Grace back. Lord is power. He heals up with the ultimate. This is Hylos for you right here. Yeah, Lord still dueling Grace 1v1. Is he able to get him? Yes, he does. Crushes the horse. Meanwhile, King calling flickers forward, catches out Sensui, but he's able to dash away as Iris buys time with the Infernal Pursuit. Grace, the only casualty of the fight so far. Iris still quite far out. TODAK more healthy in terms of health pool. Vengeance comes out from Iris. He jumps back in. The Terrify lands. We're going to see Sensui jumping in the back line. But Zayed already trades out Iris. And Zyme Senpoi wasn't finished off by the side of Red Esports.
My goodness. With all of the rotations being made, we do see that Owl actually rotated into the in towards mid lane, pushes that wave out, giving free farm to Chiku guys to recover.
Owl rotating over to the turtle, giving Chiku the tower. This claims turtle in the hands of Sensui, but they give up a structure for it.
I would say that's worth it. I kind of feel like you guys understood where Red...
He walked into the wrong bush!
Did he not see Zion?
He did not know. Grace scouted out the further bushes.
No, I mean, like, in general, you already see... What? What was that?
Well, Sensui in trouble as well. Yadlord gets the taunt. Flicker not gonna save him. Chiku getting some of that farm he missed in the early game.
I'm sorry, but even if you see Zaya like at the far left of the bush, that Nolan has a lot of dashes. He can get from one bush to the next very fast.
I don't know. That was a very clear mistake, but you can see that Red Esports, there had to be a comms breakdown because even Sensui getting caught out like that, pretty unacceptable here for Red Esports, especially when they have information at hand to predict it.
Usually even the Beatrix would use a snipe to check the bushes, no?
Honestly, I think he was just very confident.
Yeah.
They were just like, oh yeah, Grace, is anybody there? And Grace is probably just nodding his head. It's like, yup, all good.
Knowing Grace, he might have just been like that. Yeah, he was just like,
very nice. So sweet.
They thought he was already gone at that point. Grace still trying to initiate. Glorious Pathway comes in. Iris gonna engage. Avatar the Guardian misses in the mid lane, but a nice freeze from Zyme Senpoi keeps two members in place. Grace gonna be pulled back again by the Spirit of Glory and picked off by TODAK as Iris just has to make a hasty retreat.
Okay, that was a big mistake, but still, okay. Red can do something about it. Just let Owl scale, and he's not having the best of game after that, so maybe just go straight for the BOD. Maybe not think about this guy Piercer and just scale, but TODAK is doing quite well. But Red Esports grabbing a turret here and there. I feel like still okay. It's not the end of the world.
Yeah, it's definitely not the end of the world just yet. Despite the score being 6-1, we're 7 minutes into the game, but the gold lead, the gold deficit for Red Esports is only 1.2k. Feasibly, a single fight, 2 pickoffs, enough to recover.
Especially if they can give kills to Owl. But now Grace dropping, he's melting so quickly! And the Hylos is frozen! Cannot escape, Zion comes in, mega kill! Executes him on the spot, Yadlord still surviving, misses the taunt, but still forcing Owl and Sensui away from the Lord Pit.
When I say, like, it's not the end of the world yet, it's getting there.
I mean, it's pretty close. Like, Chiku guys, I think he's like, one item and one situational item off from becoming pretty much indestructible at this point. I mean, he's doing some good damage to Grace, that's for sure, and Grace really needs to give him that respect.
Okay, calling Momo, dueling Sensui, he picks him up! Sensui tried to duel him! Zayed, though, makes the same mistake, jumps into 4. Owl gets a shutdown, too.
Okay, so Owl made a mistake, but then Sensui's like, I got you, bro. Let me dash into a Minsutar. I mean, like, to be fair, with the items that he went for a War Axe, so maybe he got the stacks. He's like, yo, I got the stacks. I can one-shot a Minsutar. What's the Minsutar gonna do? He only has a Thunderbell. What's the Thunderbell gonna do?
I mean, the big problem is that he wasn't in immortal form. He purely went to try and go for the burst, right? He goes in, tries to Soul Sever, doesn't one-shot his target, gets stunned. It's over for him.
And Lord jumps in, dives, gets the taunt. Frigid Glacier gonna come out under the tower, and Iris is immediately taken out. But TODAK having to try and escape now. Brilliance used. Owl dashing forward right into TODAK. Chiku's still alive. Gray's gonna need to form the front line. But Spirit of Glory catches out Beatrix again. Brings him into King's Calling. Yadlord gonna have to sacrifice his life to keep him safe. Gray's gonna be traded. Momo able to walk out as well.
King Momo 009 King Momo. Zayat, what are you gonna do, Zayat?
He's royalty.
Zion comes in, fracture! Sensui picked off the Land of Dawn.
Man, TODAK is really ramping up the pace right now. They've got their power spikes on Zayat. They've got their power spikes even on Zaim Senpoi as well, who's honestly playing a really vital role in ensuring that Red Esports can't find these flank angles, and especially if they want to dive past the front line.
We are seeing a very big difference this game. I think him not having that Loyi means that their rotations are a lot more readable by TODAK, and they're taking advantage of that.
Dude, I mean, like, at this point, TODAK is winning a lot of the team fights. Like, Kim gets caught out by Zayat, and then everyone else in the front line. Oh,
Zayat almost executes Al, but now he himself is caught out by the Eternal Guard. Bandit's Rage finishes him off. Yanlord taunting Kim in the backline. Momo dealing with Grace. Yanlord is very, very deep right now. King's calling Fear of Glory, pulls Grace back once again. Iris trying to save him, not going to be able to do enough. Tries to zone out Zaim Senpoi at the same time, but TODAK immediately backs it off. The job is done. Chiku goes back in. Chaos Assault against Iris. Vengeance used by the Phobius. The passive used by Aurora. Yanlord going to be finished off. Sensui trying to chase down the Aurora, but he's so far away. Does eventually catch him. Double kill for Sensui. Meanwhile, Iris dealing with Momo and Chiku at the same time while Red Esports following up behind him. Momo doing a lot of damage actually, but Owl gets the mega kill. And now Chiku is 1v4 with no cooldowns. A shutdown. Double kill for Owl.
That team fight was so long. Zayat died first, and he revived.
And now he's already invading to steal away the orange buff because he wasn't necessary in that fight. And now Red Esports will look to turn this gold around.
Yeah, and right now Red definitely has the advantage. I mean, they do want to scale up, and we can see as long as Owl takes good care of himself, it's all good. But because it does look like TODAK is preventing Grace and Iris to really take care of Owl. So Owl gotta be that strong, independent Beatrix.
Yeah, the type that doesn't walk too far forward. The type that keeps an eye on Momo specifically because he's clearly got his crosshairs on you, my guy. More going to be pushing in at this stage of the game. I think that, man, how does TODAK play this out, right? Maybe there could be a Ruby combo that Chiku guys could do to maybe one-shot Owl?
Well, it will depend. Looks like Red Esports isn't planning to get an inhib with this, but they are able to take the bot tier 2. If that's all, TODAK actually will get out of this without too much structural damage.
Yeah, and again, Zayat is up top. And this is where TODAK is really tested because Red Esports at this point have activated their comp. And we do see that Zayat has the right mindset. Burst down either the Vixana or the Beatrix. And he's been able to get there, but he's never been able to get there safely. So he needs to pick his timings as well. He needs Red Esports to be preoccupied with something else so that he actually has a clear path to go in. Sometimes I just feel like he's trigger happy. A little bit too trigger happy.
Too trigger happy?
Yeah, like sometimes I've heard this from a friend. He said that patience is a virtue. Shout out to Bruce Lee. Haven't talked to him for a while.
Yeah.
When was the last time you saw him?
I mean, I was a kid at that point, you know.
you were still a kid at that point.
It's been a while. It's been a while.
It has been a while.
It's been a long time.
very long time.
Calling me old?
No, I'm not calling you old.
All
I'm
right.
just
Maybe a little
appreciating
bit.
the age.
All right. You know what? That's the same thing as being old, but I'll take it.
It's okay, your art style just changed.
Yeah.
Flicker forward, King's calling! Glorious pathway used by Grace to try and escape as TODAK is scattering Red Esports, but they're actually able to regroup. This may have been a bit too far by them. We can see Sensui coming in from the flank, seeing if he can cut them off. TODAK has used a lot of their ultimates right now, and they are on the retreat. Oh, Spear of Glory finds two, though. No King's calling, but it's enough to finish off Grace. Now Yanlord will be picked off as well. Double kill for Owl. Too aggressive from TODAK.
Man, these push and pulls from both Red Esports.
Oh my god, Chiku, guys, this is way too far, and if he uses passion, forces brilliance.
Yeah, he'll be fine. He's okay. He's a big boy.
When you said TODAK being too aggressive, Chiku guys like, not enough aggressive? Not enough? Sorry, I misheard. Not enough?
It's like going to a mamaka and it's like, is this too spicy for you? How about now?
Limo ice with no ice? Let me take away the ice for you.
Puts it in a plastic bag and hands it to you to walk away with. Now, with Red Esports and TODAK, their push and pulls honestly haven't been too fruitful against each other, right? They've been trading 1-for-1 from mid game. Now we're transitioning into the late game. It's been a hard fight.
Again, this is where Red Esports is strongest, right? At the
yeah, Lord not able to taunt Owl.
What you
guys is in the back. Owl flickers away while Iris dealing with Momo. King's Calling already used. Zayed trying to burst someone down, but all of Red Esports is so tanky. They'll finally finish off Iris though because he's been left alone for so long. The flank actually successful.
Can we have a conversation about game number 1 about you guys flanking?
Yeah.
And then he just did it.
Why is he applying it here? Well, I guess he's got a lot more space to work with a lot of missing mid-tier 2s as well. I guess that's probably the only reason. And to be fair, Red Esports is actually walking out
Glory into the praise!
No way!
Killing spree for Zayed! The horse melts into glue in a single second! Red Esports, only 3 players alive, have to give up the Lord.
You know what? TODAK has the right mindset, but when I said Red is strongest now, I mean now they're strongest.
Yeah.
When they're in the base.
Yeah.
Right? When no one can flank onto Owl, because we saw
their red zone.
That entire time, Owl was hesitating. He's like, do I look in the front? Do I look in the back? I wish I have eyes in the back of my head at that point.
Honestly, I wish he had eyes in the back of his head
an owl.
too. Look, just because he can
his
twist his head that much doesn't mean he wants to do it up on stage, okay?
He's not a real owl.
Yeah, he's just
not?
shy about it.
Have I been lied to?
Hey, man.
I mean, I kind of feel like it's your fault that you've been lied to.
Damn, that's unfortunate. Oh, Iris in some trouble. Vengeance already used. He's outside the base and he's gonna get picked off. Mega kill for the Nolan as the Lord is crashing in. Inhibitor already. Oh, what the? Where did Chiku guys go? Sensui executes him. And now Momo actually too far out. King's Calling a bit too late. Double kill for the Studio.
Chiku guys did not know how to estimate. It was a rough damage coming out of Suyo at this point in time. And to be fair, I can agree with him. I wasn't expecting him to explode like that as well.
Yeah. So at this point, TODAK and Red Esports, I would say it's kind of like 50-50 because TODAK has the map advantage in terms of like the structures and everything, but Red definitely has the firepower. If we're looking at the itemization here coming from the Beatrix, yes, because the early game wasn't that great, opted out against getting that Sky Piercer, so a little bit more defense with the Rose Gold Meteor, which is probably the reason why Owl is not getting bursted down as fast. And at this point, TODAK kind of just has to be happy with being able to get the front line and unable to get Owl. But that's a big problem because Owl does a lot of damage. And now Owl swaps out the boots for a little bit of anti-regen.
Very aggressive scouting there from Simon Senpoi. If there was more than just Grace in that bush, he would probably be dead already. Purple buff being eyed up. Fracture misses. Don't think TODAK will try to continue this.
It's a good idea if they wanted to continue, especially with the waves not exactly in the best place possible. I think Red Esports first, it's minion wave management. Wait until roughly about, I would say, the 14th second until the Lord spawns, and then start to look for space. Maybe you'll get a good idea of where TODAK is at that point.
Yeah. Honestly, again, I'm just looking at TODAK. If they have a good flank, it'll be good. Momo, I feel like the King's Calling is really just to lock in the front line. I kind of feel like Sensui will not get caught again because the way that Sensui has been spacing out and letting Iris as well as Grace to open up the map should be safe. And Owl was hooked in game number 1 that cost Red Esports the win. So I think Owl is also very cautious on the Mizukar at this point.
Yeah, he does not want to make that mistake again, right? Definitely doesn't want to be in that type of position, but at the same time, he is supposed to be the damage dealer. Right now, he just needs space, and I think the only person who could really give that to him is Grace and Kim. I would argue Iris, but he's been doing that all game.
Yeah, Iris' job is just to buy space and time, the same way he has been doing in game number 1. Red Esports actually have a comp that's very good at a front-to-back team fight right now, which forces TODAK to actually have to go for flanks. Conceal play comes out. Iris going to be caught. Vengeance used very early on, but gets frozen mid-air. Glorious pathway though. Catches out Yanlord. Pops Immortality. Chiku jumps in with the Chaos Assault. Finishes off Iris. Unstoppable for Zayed. Brilliance going to be used to chase down Grace. He gets stunned, but Owl going to get the shutdown on the other side. Godlike for the Beatrix. Meanwhile, Sensui is still buying a lot of time. Spirit of Glory connects. Pulls him back, but TODAK not ready to follow up on it. Owl as well going to just barely escape from the Aurora. TODAK still having more players alive for now.
You guys know what was unfortunate for TODAK in that fight? Oh, hold on. We gotta look at this first. We gotta look at this first because Momo and Yanlo are very low. They have to retreat. Anyways, Zayed was actually aiming for Owl, but the moment his enhanced basic attack was pressed was when one of the members from Red respawned from the immortality phase. So his enhanced basic attack didn't go to Owl. He went back. I think it was on Iris where Iris revived from the immortality and then he went to Iris. So Iris kind of peeled for Owl without even trying.
I think it was probably unintentional, and I think it was a lucky break for Owl that time. He's got to be a little more careful. He can't be put in those types of situations where he has to leave it up to fate.
Yeah, Red Esports cannot afford to lose him right now. 7-1 on the Beatrix. The shutdown would be huge for TODAK, and for that reason, his positioning is core. Conceal again from Yanlord and Momo. They want to maybe catch Iris. Taunt misses, Spear of Glory connects, but Glory's Pathway already comes out. King's Calling and gonna trap them actually. Bennett's Rage does a lot of damage, and Yanlord's already down, but Iris is traded in the mid lane by Chiku, guys, so still 1-for-1.
This is the problem, man. TODAK can't get to the backline, even though they have a Nolan. And the Nolan, as we can see, does a lot of damage, but the crowd control coming in from Red. Like, Red has their win condition. Now it's on TODAK. They got to figure out how to take out Owl, because Owl's the main damage dealer. After Owl, I'm not going to say it's easy, but it's definitely manageable.
I think that right now TODAK might even want to consider going for like a back.
Gray's gonna be picked off. The Lord dropped in too low, and Sensui in some danger himself. He's got immortality, but only at 20% HP, and Zayed is zoning them out while Chiku blitzes the Lord. TODAK, good zoning, gonna be able to claim it away from Red Esports.
Man, how many times has Grace died like that, right? He's holding priority, and then next thing you know, he just gets blown up by Zayed.
And also a good call from Zayed, showing Blitz when he actually just wants to go back and go for the Lord. Showing that he wants to threaten the back line. Like, this is a good way that he's manipulating the movements of Red. But again, Red is strongest in their base. It's hard to get Owl at this point.
Psychological warfare, right?
Red Esports gonna focus on this defense right now to keep themselves in this series and maybe bring it to game 3. The bottom inhibitor will fall very, very quickly, and Iris taking a lot of damage from Simon Senpoi as well. Winter Crown gonna be used, but Zayed still gets picked off. Monster kill as Iris is traded by Yanlord on the other side. A Blade Surge landing on Tree, but Sensui way too far in front. King's Calling catches him out, pops his immortality, but here comes Owl, legendary streak to the Beatrix as he finishes off Zayed. Grace somehow alive with a tiny sliver of HP, and TODAK is not able to end.
Oh, Zion Senpoi doing a lot of damage. Let me just say, I kind of feel bad for Grace at this game, because you would think as a high loss you're the tankiest guy around, but honestly the nerf on his late game is actually showing his color here, because he's not able to tank the damage from Chiku guys or Zayed, so he has to be quite fast on the Revitalize. If not, then he's not going to be able to help his team out.
And the worst part is that now, even when you pop the Revitalize, there's no guarantee you're going to survive, right? It only buys you, what, 1.5 seconds at this point? Arguably 2 seconds? Because Chiku guys is fully decked out, even no boots as well. I'm going for the Wishing Lantern too on top of it all.
Maybe it's because of the Wishing Lantern that we see that the Hylos really can't tank a lot.
Yeah. I mean, he's melting pretty fast right now. I don't know. It's a tough solution. There might be a re-itemization. There is a Radiant Armor at the very least. Athena Shield, I mean, as much as he could do to protect himself.
Radiant Armor can only do so much though. Lunox has inbuilt a max HP percentage damage. And if you add more onto that with Wishing Lantern, Grace and Iris melt very, very quickly. Red Esports have to play around the timing, the cooldown of the Chaos Assault.
Yeah. Again, I feel like the best way for TODAK to win this game, at least the most cleanest way, is to win a team fight outside of the base. Because we saw, I think it's like 2 or 3 times at this point where TODAK tried to end the game, but the wave clear coming in from the Vexana, from Beatrix, and I think to a point, even Sensui on this Suyo can clear the lanes very, very fast. So at this point, TODAK is just waiting for an opportunity for Red to make a mistake, and Red is just waiting for an opportunity for them to maybe get Zaim Senpoi, and then Zaim Senpoi is not there, not enough crowd control that's able to stop the movement coming in from Red, because I feel like Zaim Senpoi is holding Grace, Iris, and Sensui at a choke point. You guys can't move in front of me. You're gonna get locked down, and then the King's Calling is gonna come, and then you're gonna get taken down.
Okay, so 2 pieces to make this puzzle work, right? all comes down to the positioning of Red Esports and where their front line and back line is supposed to be. 2 points that TODAK need to try and line up to get the penultimate Momo catch.
Again, this Aurora from Zion's standpoint, man, just look at him. He's preventing Grace and Iris to do anything, even Momo. So Red Esports, half their comp doesn't work here.
This is gonna be a very tense Lord dance. At this stage, claiming the Lord with a teamfight win is a guaranteed victory for either side. The game is that close at this stage. 24 minutes in, Spear of Glory finally finds Iris, but do they want to engage on him? They've used a lot of spells. Iris at 60% HP. Chiku has been dealing with the Lord by himself the whole time, and he's actually taken a lot of damage. He's quite low on that front.
Yeah, at this point, it's about wave management here. If TODAK manages the wave better, then they can force the minions to go inside the base of Red Esports, and then Red Esports will have no chance, but have no option other than protecting their base.
I mean, they're probably going to start fighting as soon as they see Owl touch that bottom wave, right? That's what I would assume.
Probably. Owl going to actually walk out now. If TODAK wants to engage, this is the time when the enemy core isn't there, but doesn't look like they're trying to force anything yet. This is gonna give Owl time to actually clear up that wave. TODAK, they're not sure what their plan is, but Red Esports are perfectly alright with delaying this Lord Dance.
I don't know, if I was Red, I would be a little bit nervous because TODAK, they have Zayed on this Nolan, and Nolan does clear the minions pretty fast. Because I'm simply, you're a bit too fun there.
Grace, wow,
that's a lot of damage.
Spear of Glory just misses, otherwise Grace would be dead. King Calling gonna be used on Iris actually. He stuns him, freezes him, but he still has immortality, still quite healthy as well. Zayed trying to scare Red Esports away. Not too successful though. They will back off and regen.
Whoa, the stalemate continues. This war of attrition doesn't seem to be going anywhere as we make it into the 25th minute of the game, going into 26.
Oh!
Ouch!
That's a big snipe.
Yeah, and again, I feel like TODAK can engage now that the King's Calling is down. What are you doing?
They might want to go for a split push, actually. They have a wave down bottom. Glorious Pathway comes out. Red Esports trying to engage. Zayed can split push, actually. He's not going to do it. He's actually going to try and come from the flank. Looking for Owl. Owl actually going, not going to recall. He might run into Zayed if he's not careful. Meanwhile, the rest of Red Esports are dealing with things. Gray's going to be the one executed instead. So Owl is actually fine. He finally shows himself in the base. Spear of Glory catches out him into the King's Calling. Zayed going for the split push while the rest of TODAK are buying space. Owl is the only one that can stop him. But can he do so? He cannot! The back door is successful!